Okay, so in this workshop, I'm going to be showing you why Skool communities and communities in general are the best way to monetize your views. It's the best way to turn your views into profits. And the way we're going to be doing that is by creating a system that will take our views and will allow us to add more value so that we can start to push the views off of YouTube and into a system that we control. And that way we're able to start monetizing it. And the easiest way, especially for beginners who don't have a PhD in marketing and understand what funnels are and copywriting and everything else, the best way to do this is with community funnels. Now, YouTube is great for getting eyeballs. It's a fantastic way to get free views, both with shorts or long form content, but there's not much of a community on there. Sure, they're starting to push the community section where you can do posts and people can comment on them, but you can't DM people. You don't really have any interaction. It's just a very sort of linear image posting and sharing the odd link. There is no real community on there. Comments are about the only thing that you can do. So YouTube very much is about just getting eyeballs. So it's what you do with that attention, and we now live in an attention economy. So what you do with that attention is where the big money is. And we're going to go deeper into the different reasons for this as we move through. So what we're going to be doing in this workshop is going through community funnels. Why community and, well, why communities in general and YouTube are such a great combination, which I've just lightly touched on there. Why Skool communities and not Facebook? I can tell you that answer really, really quickly. Facebook communities just don't get the reach anymore. YouTube wants to make you to pay to play. So you could have the same size community on Facebook that you do on Skool, and everybody on Skool will see your posts, your comments, and everything else. There is no algorithm. Whereas on Facebook, maybe you have 100 members here and 100 members here. 100 members will see your content. On Facebook, maybe only a few will. So you won't get the level of reach. So Facebook really does restrict you, and it just makes it a total waste of your time. I've actually given up a long time on Facebook groups, but Skool has changed that, and Skool is very similar to Facebook in that it has an ecosystem of people and customers already on there. So yes, we can leverage YouTube, but you can also actually leverage Skool to get more free attention to grow your community. And people already know how to use it. There are now millions of people using it. So it is basically the new Facebook, but it's like Facebook was 10 years ago, where it's the Wild West and great opportunity for making money. Because most of the high ticket people and people that were growing coaching and everything else, they knew that Facebook groups were the best way to warm people and to sell them on high ticket and to make the big money. So Skool is essentially now replacing Facebook communities. We're also going to go through the different funnel types and the different setups, because it's not just creating one community and that's it. There are many different setups that people are currently using to make 5 and even 6 figures each and every month in reoccurring income from their channels with Skool community. Yes, that's right. Some of these communities are making over $1 million a year, over $1 million a year, and they just would not be able to do that with just a YouTube channel alone. I'm going to go through the best strategies as a beginner. So if you're just getting started with this, if this is the first you're hearing about Skool communities and combining Skool and YouTube, then we're going to be going through the best ways for you to get started and the best setups that you should be doing in the beginning, and mainly the things that you should avoid. There's a number of things, yes, you could create a community, but there's a number of things that people are doing that work, and then there's a number of things that are killing people, what works for people with these types of communities and YouTube in general. So if we come up here, what we're going to want to do, as I said, is create a system, our flow. Because you see, the great thing about YouTube is that YouTube can do a number of different things that other platforms and other tools can't do. Now, you may have heard people say that in order for people to buy from you, they need to know, like, and trust you. And once people know, like, and trust you, when you get to the trust section, that's where the magic happens. That's when you start to make sales. So in order to know you, you need traffic, eyeballs, attention. This could have been in the past newspapers, TV, everything else. Now it's social media. And in this form, it's going to be views on your videos, be long form, short form, or your community posts. We then like to have a way to nurture them, to get them to like us more, because you can't get to a sale if people don't like you, and you want them to continue with your content and to see more points of your content. Marketers often say that you need 7 hours worth of your content viewed by people and then 11 touches of contact. So you need a number of different ways for them to be able to see you, watch your content, and then communicate with them be it via more of your content, or be it via email or other ways to contact them. So you need to find ways to nurture them and build that relationship. So a bit like you going to see someone in a shop that you buy from, you'll get to know them more and more over time as you keep going back to buy from that shop or to get something from that shop. We need more points of contact to become friends, let's say. The other part is trust. Now, as I just said, that's where the magic happens. That's where the sales happen. And trust is earned over time. So you can get eyeballs quite quickly with YouTube. You can get them to like you as they watch more and more of your content, but the trust is earned over time. So what I like to show here is that YouTube can actually do all three of these things, which I really like, because that makes YouTube massively valuable. And actually, even without communities, I've made a lot of money with YouTube. I've made $100,000 on multiple different affiliate products that I promoted through my channel. I've probably made close to at least $500,000 from this very small channel alone in sales. So you can make a lot of money from YouTube without even communities themselves. But it's even better and faster with small channels to be able to add the community aspect. So what I've got here is they know you 100%, great form of traffic. Like you, 30%. So over time, they start to get it. And then trust, 20%. They trust you, but you're still a YouTube channel. They don't know whether what you're saying is true and everything else. Now, as your channel gets bigger and gets more and more authority, these numbers go up. But that obviously takes time, and we want to be able to make money now. So how can we accelerate that process of getting people to know, like, and trust us? Well, we obviously want to get them to watch more and more of our content. But the algorithm kills reach for us. People may watch one video and then they don't subscribe, or they don't like, or they don't watch enough. And for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't show more of our content. Or if it does, it shows the wrong type of content that they weren't interested in. So perhaps not all of our videos were the type of content they would like. So YouTube will push a few. If they don't watch those videos, it stops showing them. And just like Facebook, they have a massive algorithm in between. So this is like a brick wall between you and your potential customers. The only way to reach them is to get more views and to create more content that will hopefully show it in front of them. So it kills contact. And this is the one thing I want you to take away, if anything, today from this point, is contact. Contact is everything when it comes to finding customers and trying to sell and promote products to them. You need as many ways as possible to get in contact with your audience. So typically what we used to do with that was we would have to find ways to contact them here. And that would be phone calls, messaging, and email, as well as other forms of social media. So in the past, the setup, and as I said, this has made me a lot of money in the past, what we would do is we would try to grow the channel. You would look to get sponsorship, but again, this came with a size, so you weren't necessarily getting good sponsorship deals until your channel got bigger, was more stable, and gained more trust. So even sponsorship was a bit like making sales. Without that size and trust, you're not going to get good deals. The ad revenue, again, that also comes from the size of your channel, but you do get it, and it's a nice little piece of money. I like to think of it as a nice added bonus, especially with an education channel, because on average, all channels on average on the YouTube platform tend to range from about 10,000 to 100,000 monthly views. Now, that means if your RPM, and RPM is what you get paid from YouTube after they take their 40 or 45%. So RPM is what you actually get paid. So let's say the average of that is about 3. And if you're an entertainment channel, it might be even lower. But if you're mainly in America or Europe, then this may be higher. But let's say for the sake of this, it's about $3. That means in order to make $1,000 per month from just ads, you need to get over 300,000 monthly views. And if this is the average size, then you need your channel to be performing above average, significantly above the average. And yes, you could go, well, that's just one viral video. Yes, but you need to do that every single month. You need to have consistent viral videos, and that comes with a lot of skill. Now, it's not to say that you can't do it, but all of your income is dependent on you being able to produce viral videos. So as an educational channel, I can tell you most educational channels will be getting slightly less than 100,000. And if you're getting 100,000 views as an education channel, you can be making some serious money in other ways. So this is what we want to be doing, because not all views are made equal. Views for education may have a higher RPM and also more people are going to be wanting to sponsor you, and then you have other ways that you can make money in terms of affiliate products and everything else. So when you get good views as a education channel, all of these metrics can come up. But again, and I was selling online courses, and I was also making great money from online courses. Again, 6 figures in annual online courses, nice passive income coming in. And then there's the other option if you're an entertainment channel where you're doing Patreon, but they take a huge amount of fees. They have less features. You've got less control. They don't allow certain types of content. And you could be paying about 25% in fees by the time. They've got loads of different hidden fees inside. So it's fine in the beginning if you want to keep your costs low, but know that when you start to make more money, they're going to be taking a huge piece of that pie. And the same goes for memberships on YouTube as well. So this essentially was the old way. You just had to get as many views as possible, hoping that the algorithm would push people through and the right people through as well. And then the system that you had in place, be it online courses, getting ad revenue, sponsorship deals, Patreon, then that would hopefully make you enough to become a full-time content creator and turn this into a full-time business. But there's instability to this. And the main reason, remember I was saying it kills contact. Contact, again, is everything. And the way we would normally do that was with email. Now, email still works incredibly well. So that the minimum thing you could do on your channel is to create a free giveaway or newsletter that you get people to sign up for, because that's another point of contact that you control that is separate from YouTube. You must always keep things separate. YouTube wants to keep you on the platform. And I'm talking about community funnels, and I think YouTube is already in the process of creating communities inside because they see that this is a growing thing and it's a big opportunity for them as well. So YouTube will be creating more membership systems inside with more features. But here's the issue. If you keep everything inside of YouTube and they decide they don't like something that you do, they can turn everything off. Your whole business overnight can be turned off by the flick of a button. So if you get somebody that doesn't like you, a hater, who starts reporting all your content because they just hate you and they want to cause you problems, they could essentially have your entire business locked down by YouTube while they investigate. So you might not be getting ad revenue, then you might not be getting course sales, you might not be getting memberships or thank you money. So your entire business could be turned off overnight by YouTube. So it's really, really important to keep some of your business separate from YouTube itself. So email is the good first beginner's option. If it's this is the minimum you should do. But Google's changed a lot of rules recently, and Gmail and other email providers are getting more and more difficult to send emails to. You tend to go into the spam or the junk more, or the sponsored section now that they've got, especially if you have any links in the content. So they are, again, and Google and it owns YouTube and Gmail, so therefore it's just another form of algorithm that is blocking you inside. So you want to get more contact to be able to reach them more. So the more contact you can have, the better. So coming down, this is where community funnels come into action. So you use a community as the hub of your entire business. So you can literally put everything inside of your community. And what I love about Skool communities is that it's something that you 100% control. There's no algorithm, and you can control all of the different contact. You are just paying a $99 a month, I believe, and then you have full control of this. There's no paying fees to Patreon. You literally control everything, and it gives you all of the different forms of contact that you want to be able to reach the customer in many different ways. You can DM them, you can capture their email and send them emails. You can send them at least 2 direct messages, emails from the system, from Skool itself, via post, so you can email from the system as well as your own personal emails. You can then create posts, you can comment on their posts, and you can even have group calls and one-on-one calls as well that you can advertise and link to inside. So you have a huge amount of ways to contact people, and this means that you can nurture. So remember, we were talking about nurture. So you can build and nurture more and have more points of contact so you can get to the trust level much, much quicker. And this is where small channels can benefit with the community funnel system, because you're going to have your YouTube channel, which is great, but overnight you could be contacting them, chatting to them inside, giving them free trainings, getting them on a call, and that suddenly gets them very quickly from knowing you to trusting you. So you can build trust almost overnight, which just makes this much more, I've had students of mine who have described this as a email marketing on steroids. So if you take anything away, it's a bit like an email autoresponder, but on absolute steroids, because you just have so many different ways to contact people. So that is the main benefit of having a community. It's the different ways that you can monetize and everything else. That's great. But it's the way that you have many different ways to be able to reach and nurture your potential customer into becoming a customer. Now, there are many different ways of doing this. So let's get into some of the different ways that many of these communities are generating a ton of money right now. And you may have been hearing about Skool and everybody doing all of these different communities and so on and so forth. But I don't think people fully have clicked on to how big this is and how big this is going to be, especially for YouTube channels, because you are able to monetize your audience in so many different ways and not even in a small way. So if we were going back up to here and we were talking about the RPM, if you were able to get, let's say you got $3 RPM, which is what they pay you per 1,000 views. So 1,000 views in terms of ad revenue, if one person from that bought a $1,000 coaching program of mine from 1,000 views on a video, then I now have an RPM of $1,003. So you see how you've suddenly managed to dramatically increase your $3 RPM up to a huge amount. So suddenly your RPM dramatically goes up. And that's how you really make money with YouTube. You leverage the views yourself. So by creating your community hub, you now have the contact and the way to monetize those views. So the first way that people often do it is going directly to a paid community. Now, most people are going to start with free, get the first people in the door, nurture them, and then switch to a paid membership afterwards. And personally, I think free is better for beginners because there's less problems. Free, even $1, people think $1 to avoid spammers and everything, but there are questions and things that you can set up to eliminate people. And you can also set it so that no one can send DMs until they reach level 2, which means they have to interact and get involved in the community first, and then they can move up once they're at level 2 and start DMing other members inside. So there are ways you can stop spammers, but even $1 can restrict the number of people that sign up to your community. So typically we recommend going to free and then some form of paid that we're going to be talking to. But if your channel is good enough and big enough and you've got enough authority on here, so remember we were talking about know, like, and trust. So this person here, he basically has a large audience already. So he's got an absolute ton of videos. He's offered years of value to these people. He's got over 400,000 subscribers. So he doesn't really necessarily need to do too much more warming because his channel is already doing that work for him. He's getting a huge amount of views and attention already. So people know, like, and trust him already. All he needs to do is pop something in front of them that will get them to buy. So they just want more of something with him. Perhaps they want more contact, because again, this works both ways. You can't have contact with your students, but neither can they have contact with you. It's why things like Patreon often worked for even entertainment channels, because a lot of people want to get into direct contact with the creator. So what this person did, and I believe this person has now won competitions and everything, he's done so well, and his channel is more about manifestation. So the world is a simulation, and he basically talks about manifestation in life to get more of what you want in life. Now, if we look at this, he's charging $55 a month, and he has nearly 1,000 members. So yes, that's right. Maybe it was slightly cheaper when he first started, but we can assume that based on this, he is making something around $50,000. So just from this one community, not including the money from sponsorships or ad revenue, he could be making another 10K to 20K at least from this channel as well. So he could be potentially making somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 per month. So this channel may be making him over 6 figures per month. But you can see how much valuable this is. This is an asset he controls. If YouTube age restricts or demonetizes his channel for whatever reason in future, he's already got this asset of reoccurring monthly income coming in from this community. And inside, I mean, can't see exactly what he's offering, but chances are it's just more coaching, group coaching with him. Maybe he's got some trainings inside, but $55 a month is actually low ticket. It's not that expensive. So therefore, people are going to be getting a lot, but it's one-to-many. He's not having to do much one-on-one time. So this is a good one that many people and beginners might want to start with a very low ticket amount, start with free and then scale up to sort of $5, $10, $20 per month to slowly build up your earnings that way. The other one, and this is one that I actually really like, and this is one that I think for most people who are educators and have skills that they want to monetize or existing businesses, this is the one that you really want to be doing. And that is free to annual. So it's free to annual high ticket. So what you will be charging monthly, so this guy would be charging $55 a month, which across 12 months is very close to sort of $600. Now you could sell that high ticket. You could sell a discount, offer more value for those that sign up for a year. So you could do both, but I recommend doing one. And then you would offer it for annual for, say, $500 for the year. And that means you get more money up front. And that's the benefit. You get more money up front. Actually, believe it or not, annual churns, and churns means people that leave less. The average retention rate on a community is somewhere around 5 to 6 months if the community is pretty good. So that means that if you get people to sign up for annual, a bit like a gym membership where they get a discount for signing up for yearly, you get more money up front. And you actually in the long term make more money because you're going to be getting people to stay longer. And people, if you deliver good value, because they're not expecting everything in the first month, if people pay monthly, they expect a lot of results and a lot of stuff, and you're pressurized to maintain that. Whereas when people stay for longer periods and pay for longer periods, you have more time to deliver on what they were hoping for. So you could be all out in the first month, then it'd be a couple of quiet months, and then all out in another month. It doesn't matter because they pay for the year. So as long as you monitor and then keep delivering value, they may return for another year afterwards. So you could end up compounding high ticket sales without having to do more calls or anything like that. So if you look at this one, it's directly from a YouTube channel. It's not even a very big one, this one. This is a fitness influencer who has about 1,600 subscribers and goes directly to his page here. I believe he also, if I remember rightly, is doing forms of sales calls, but he's now doing yearly. So he's doing yearly memberships here, and I believe it's something to do with fitness, this one. So I've seen this one. So basically to do with fitness. And I've got other people that I follow who are in the fitness industry and also doing annual now. And it's increasing sales because you can offer more because you know people are going to stay for longer. So if people stay for, you might offer a one-on-one session that you wouldn't have done if it was monthly because it wasn't worth your time. But now you're getting over $500 up front. So you don't mind doing a sort of one-on-one session. You can actually deliver more because it's high ticket. And then if they enjoy the community, you might just get renews. At least 50% might renew. So let's say you had a $1,000 course. You sold 100 of them in the year. That's $100,000 in revenue. But if 50% of those people stay the year after, that's an extra $50,000 for doing very little, just doing what you were already doing. That means if you did the same amount next year, you would be making $150,000 and it would start to compound. And then you could obviously start to scale it and get more and more people. So looking at this person here is potentially making, just from this fitness stuff, he's making already potentially, assuming that these are all annual memberships, over 100,000, over 6 figures in yearly membership, just from a small channel with less than 2,000 subscribers, which is actually absolutely incredible. Now, I don't know if he's getting views from somewhere else. He's a fitness influencer, so maybe he's got an Instagram as well. But it just goes to show that small channel annual makes more money. You're going to get more money from smaller channels. And then we see someone who's a bit of a big influencer. Now, most of us actually know, and I thought I'd do 2 examples here. We've got Ted Carr. Now, Ted Carr, he is pretty much just focusing on YouTube now as well. This business channel has under 18,000 subscribers. I think he's only getting about 40,000 monthly views, which is still pretty good. But obviously, he can leverage all the famous people he knows and everything else. And then come down, and he's got his free community, which has got thousands of people in it. Inside this free community, he actually has one-time high ticket products. So he's got courses inside which are over 100,000, not over 100,000, over $1,000. So he will be making some money from this free community. But then the idea is that they then get them onto sales calls. They then try to promote them into their higher ticket monthly program, which is $200 per month. And then from there, we can see that they've got 271 people. So 271 people in that paid monthly community, that means that this community alone is making him another $50,000. So assuming maybe he's getting some sales in here from his high ticket courses, and then he's got this reoccurring amount here, then he's already making, with this and the channel, potentially close to 6 figures already per month. But he's then got an even higher ticket one, which is $99 per month. And he's got 73 people in it. And this is for the people that want more one-on-one. They want more to be around people that are wanting to make a lot more money. So if we look at this, we can already see that, yes, much fewer people, but much more money. So he's making an additional $72,000 from this group. So he might be, between his communities, his one-time products, and his channel, he may be making around $150,000 each and every month. And again, just from a small channel. Now, I think this guy is probably running ads as well, but it goes to show that you can make a hell of a lot of money from a small channel doing this. The next one is we are going from free to paid. So again, from free to paid is the straightforward model where you always deliver free, but then you have a paid community to upgrade. So this was a sort of example of that here. But I think free to paid for many people is going to be a great idea. So it could be free to an annual paid. I think that's probably going to be the best combination that we've got going on. So this one's going direct, but I would actually probably do free annual. But again, completely up to you in the system you want to do. This person is, you may have heard of him, is the Adonis Gang, which is Hamza. Now, Hamza is a personal development coach and influencer for men, and he literally has 152,000. Now, he has a massive channel, which I don't have a picture of here. He's got millions of subscribers. So he has a massive audience that he's been able to leverage. But I know that when he was around 130,000, he was charging $1 per month to get people in. So this community, his free one, would probably be making him over $100,000 a month anyways. But he decided to switch to free because it meant that more people would sign up and join, and then he could elevate them to his paid community, which has seen a bit of a drop off. I think he has lost a bit of momentum and focus. He may be creating other communities at the moment. But he then has his Adonis Skool, which is sort of business life preparation, how to help men with their fitness, their mindset, and I think their business as well. So then he does this, and he has nearly 858 members at the time of recording this, and they pay $129 each per month. So we could assume that he's still making $100,000 because there's no way he canceled their membership. He's probably still making at least $100,000 from this community. And then we can see that from this paid community that he's elevating people to, probably with a sales call or maybe just automated, given that he's got such a big free community, he's actually making an additional $110,000 each month. He's making another 6 figures. So with his other community, I think he's probably easily earning at least $200,000, probably more with his other communities per month, just from these communities alone. So that's the free to paid community idea, which is a great one. We then have a free to paid course. So again, I'm using the Ted Car business one here because you can see he's got unlock $99, unlock $99. So he's got 2 high ticket courses in there that people can just pay to unlock, either on a call or just themselves if they actually want access to it after consuming his free content. So that's what you could do as well if you only wanted one community. And this is the benefit of going from your channel to directly to a paid community, but that's not very beginner friendly in my opinion, or going to a free community that you have paid products in, which is almost like the online course model where you're just selling online courses, but you're monetizing your free community with online courses. And the benefit of that is that you only have to worry about one community, because it can be time consuming, especially as a beginner, trying to create multiple communities, because then you're going to be brain draining your free community and moving people into your paid one. So it's a bit more of a pain in the ass in terms of managing, but there are benefits to separating people, because then you can have a clear focus for the paid people, and people want to be surrounded by other people doing the same thing, not a bunch of tire kickers inside the free community. So there are pros and cons, but obviously having all of the people who are paying talking about how amazing your course is inside a free community will get people to potentially buy your course and upgrade as well. So there are pros and cons to having both the non-paying members and the paying people inside one single community. Now, there are limitations in the way that you can do this. You can only do one-time payments or a subscription on the front end. So you don't have too many options there. It is either a paid community with a subscription or it's one-time payments inside. Otherwise, you do need to have another separate community. And then finally, we have the free to coaching or agency model, which is similar to the other ones. But again, this is kind of a bit like the Ted Car was with his more high ticket one. You would go from your channel. So let's say you're talking about business building, but I think this guy is talking to agency owners, people who are making potentially a lot of money already. Maybe they're doing things such as selling houses and stuff like that. I see a lot of agencies in terms of flipping houses or also teaching people how to promote and sell houses. These are people that are going to have more disposable income because it's worth them investing in trying to sell houses because the return on the capital is massive. So this channel is relatively small, less than 500 subscribers, and yet, so I wanted to show you some smaller options. He has a free community, not many people in it as well, but less than 200 members. And then, if we go here, he's doing the $1,000 per month, so $997, and then he's got 12 members. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but again, less than 500 subscribers. Less than 500 subscribers, less than 200 free members, and he's then elevated the people that want to work with him directly on a monthly level. So if he got 100 people, then he would be making $100,000 a month. But just with 12 people, he's already making over, nearly $12,000 per month, on top of maybe what he's making inside of his channel as well. Now, I don't know how many views he's getting, but if you're an agency or you're wanting to sell your services ongoing, you could be charging $1,000 per month and getting clients that you do some of the services for them. So a bit more hands-on, sort of done with you or done for you model, but then you charge a higher monthly fee. So you're going for one to few rather than one to many. So this is where there's many different models where you could have thousands of people in your community paying a little, or you could have hundreds paying a bigger amount and make more money, but while having direct contact. So it depends on the type of coaching and training that you want to offer people. So based on what I've just shown you, let's look at this and decide, what's going to be the best option for you in creating your community. Now, I don't know what level you're at. Maybe you've got a bigger channel. Maybe you've got a smaller one. Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you have a community, but you don't have a channel yet. So for the most part, I recommend that people start with a free community. You want to get people inside first. Nobody likes turning up to a party and being the first to arrive. So you always want to have some people in the community first. You don't need many. You just need active people, and you want to make sure that you're really making it a place that they want to be. Do one-on-one direct coaching. You really should be offering direct coaching and over-delivering to these first people. You want them to be your raving fans. If you've ever read any books about cults, it's the first 5 people. If they get 5 people that are raving fans, those people do the selling for them or inside the community. They start to answer all the questions. They basically make the community their own and start doing a lot of the work for you. So you really want to over-deliver to those first people. Don't be afraid to over-deliver. Don't think your time is massively valuable. You want to get people in and you want to really make them love it, want to stay, almost become your friend and really, start to give them more. But you want to be free to start. Give away something free, get them in. Don't go straight to paid. It is a barrier of entry. You need people inside and you need testimonials. Even the big people who are going straight to paid allowed some people in for free to begin with. So I really recommend that you start with free to begin with. And as I said, don't be afraid to do direct coaching. Over-deliver. The days of passive income and everything else are great. Yes, you can have funnels if you're very good at copywriting, if you have a bunch of proof and testimonials, which is what you need to get. If you have an absolute ton of testimonials and proof, and your channel is massive and it has loads of authority, then okay, you can start to charge directly. You don't really have to worry so much about free. But free is the funnel. Free is the entry part. So you want to over-deliver, do coaching, build testimonials. The more proof you have, the easier it is to get people to come on board and want to talk to you. If people see you getting results for people, they want to talk to you. They'll turn up to every call. They'll ask every question. They'll comment on every post you do. They want to get involved and they'll want more attention from you. So get testimonials. If you don't have testimonials, get people into your community and start working with them one-on-one and get results for them. Focus on getting them results as quickly as possible. Do one-on-one and then do one to few and then scale that up. You keep going from one-on-one to one to the few to one to the many. So as you get more and more popular, you start to do bigger and bigger groups and you dilute it down. So you either charge more and keep the groups small, or you just scale with more and more people and have more and more people. So that it's not one-on-one calls. The groups get bigger and bigger in size, and maybe you just do more calls to help with that, or take on more help as well. And then build courses with members. So something a lot of people do, especially if you're in the education space and you're like, I've got a course idea, I want to create an online course. Most people create the course first. You think you have to create the course first. In this, I've created many courses in my lifetime now, some successful, some very successful, and some not. And I can tell you now, whenever I create the course without doing it with my audience, it's always slightly off. Yes, I know exactly what I need to do. And yes, you need to break down all of the steps to get from A to B. But you don't always know what the bottlenecks are. You don't know where the problem points are other people are going to have. You may have forgotten about them over time. So building it with your members is much, much better. And build it for free with them. So literally say to them, hey, get people in there. Hey, I'm going to build this course. We're going to do like a 30-day challenge. Do you want to do it with me? And do it day by day. Start with just say text. Day by day, build it with them, find out what their problems were, and then you can record videos later based on all the questions, answering all the questions, and you'll have a much better course later on that you can then sell to your new members signing up. So your free community, start with free, over-deliver, really get them coaching, get them to love you, get the testimonials and proof, and build any courses with them. This is investing in a business. You want to put the time investing into people and investing into your products and nurturing them. And think of it like the check is in the mail. You're going to get paid in future from what you're doing free now. So you think, oh no, my time is really valuable. I don't want to give it away for free. Think that the check is in the mail. You're doing this now because you'll make a lot more money in future. So it's just a future payment. You're just going to get paid later on. And then the mistakes to avoid. So it's not fixing a problem or filling a need. People, unless you're an entertainment channel or you're, let's say like the Adonis community where it's men's personal development and lots of men want to go and hang out, similar ones for women and everything. If the community is the product, then okay, that's less of a problem because the community has actually fixed the problem. But if you're an educator, then you want to be fixing a problem, and ideally a problem that people will pay money for. So find the biggest problems of your niche and set about solving those. Problems and pain points get people to take action. And it normally has to be in one of the big three or associated with. So that's health, wealth, and relationships. So relationships is everything to do with sort of happiness, love, family, all of that stuff. Anything that's that. So if you're not sure what your niche is, it probably directly or indirectly ties into that. And those are the ones that people spend money on. They spend money on their health because they want to get healthy, they want to learn things and everything else. So health is an important one. People have health scares or they want to avoid health scares and pain. People are going to pay money for that. And then wealth. People want to make money. So they're more likely to invest in products that make them money because they see it as an investment that they're going to get a return on. So it's always something that you want to get a return on. So if it helps me find the partner of my dreams, I'll pay money for it. If it helps me get in the best shape of my life so I can potentially, it could be overlap there, so I can get the top partner of my dreams or feel more confident, health, great. I'll pay you money for that. And if you help me basically quit my job and make a full-time living so I can travel the world, then obviously wealth is going to be a big one. So you want to tap into the problems that your niche have. And if you don't think it fits into one of the big three, you want to find a way to get them to overlap. So if you're traveling around the world and you've got a travel blog, yes, it's informative and useful to show people parts of the world around, but you may notice that people start to ask questions like, how do you date people as a digital nomad while traveling? How do you meet people? How do you make friends? It's always so lonely. How do you make friends? Okay, so now you have overlap with relationships. Or maybe they say, how do you travel? How can you afford to keep traveling the world? And you say, well, okay, I can show you how. I do this. So maybe you do it with your channel and you get sponsorship. How do you do that? So you could teach that, and then it's wealth. So those are the overlapping parts you want to look for. So you want to make sure you're fixing problems and you're filling needs that people want to spend money on. The next thing is talking about your community and not the result. We get so excited about creating our community that we think by just telling people in our videos or in our content, hey, free community, join below, some will sign up, but most people care about what the community can do for them. They care more about the result, not the community. So when you're trying to get people to sign up to your community, always talk about the result. Talk about why. So they'll come for the result, but they may stay for the community. Okay, so sell them what they want and then give them what they need. So it's always the result focused. So you could say, if you want help building a profitable community, or you want to find ways to be able to monetize your channel so that you can travel the world, whatever, that's the result. You would talk about the end result, or get a six-pack in the next 2 weeks. Whatever the result is that you're going to help them get. Not knowing who you serve, you need clarity on this. You need to understand who you serve and what they want. So who is it you serve? Who is your target avatar? And what is the outcome that they want? So the result may be, for the free part, a small result. What is the bigger result they want? So if I'm a football channel and I'm teaching people how to become professional football players, ultimately they want to get hired to a professional football team and make that their ultimate goal. So you could be teaching them an end result that you know you can help them to get, which could be to be scouted for a team. So the ultimate goal of your courses and programs may be helping them get scouted for teams and all of the different things they need to do and improve and what scouts look for throughout your community and training, which helps them with their end goal. So channel on football education, community that helps them get the big end result. Not giving away a great lead magnet. Now, your lead magnet is what you give away for free. This is kind of a marketing buzz term, but it's the end result, the thing you give away for free to get people to sign up to your community. Now, if people aren't signing up to your community, it's because you don't have a great lead magnet. Maybe you're saying people love checklists, they love downloadable things, they love workshops, they love training webinars, they love things that are going to get them results. If you promise, say, I'll get you your first client, or I'll help you create your first video, whatever you're going to give them, you want to make it sound really good. And when you're nobody with no proof, you want to make that bigger and better. And bigger and better normally means free one-on-one coaching. That's the ultimate that you can give them, or you'll actually do it for them. So if you are doing graphics or something like that, and you ultimately wanted to get them as an agency client, then you might offer them freebies and stuff like that. So it needs to be something that's really, really valuable and interesting to them. And it has to be more and more interesting, the smaller and more relevant and nobody. If you're a nobody, you need to give away the entire house. You need to give away everything to get them through the door so that they love working with you and they want to buy more off you. The next one is not doing onboarding. Onboarding calls, again, if you've only got a few people coming in, go all out, concierge it, make it the best experience. How can you make them go, wow, what an amazing experience. I love being in this community. That could be a call, that could be showing them around personally, saying, hey, let's do a one-on-one after, small actions, little things inside. You want to have clear action steps such as comment on this post, like this is what you do next, share your struggles here. What are the clear steps to getting started? How do I change the settings in my community? Proper onboarding. You need clear onboarding. Otherwise, people go inside, they feel lost or overwhelmed, they don't know where to start, and then they maybe leave and never come back. So you want to have a good onboarding and make it a great experience so that people want to keep coming back. Again, one-on-one coaching. I keep saying this. If you're a nobody, you may think that because you have a great job and people work under you, or you're very experienced in other areas of your life, you may overinflate. Your ego may be your enemy because what you're doing now may be something completely new. So therefore, all the authority you have in other aspects of your life, you think they somehow correlate to your time being important to your potential customer. Not until you get an absolute stack of proof and evidence will they start to value your time above their own. So in the short term, I'm sorry to say, you are nobody. Be willing to give away one-on-one sessions and then one to few and then one to many. And then you can charge the earth the more results you get for people. So it is a step by step. You need to move yourself up. So again, I just want to try and drive that home. Not doing sales calls. Now, they don't have to be sales calls. It could be a form of onboarding in your free community that then tells them at the end, if you would like more support or anything like that, there's various closing strategies that we can talk about, but I probably won't do it in this video, that you can make a non-salesy sales call that essentially they'll go, oh, I really like working with you. How can I get more? So you can start to convert at least sort of 1 in 4, 1 in 5, maybe even more on these onboarding calls to be able to move them on to your next product. And giving away too much. Now, I'm talking about giving away value here, but not giving away too much. The number one reason people churn, and I've experienced this myself, is because they get overwhelmed. There is too much and they don't feel like they're getting the use out of it. This is a bit like why you start a gym membership and they've got so many free classes and then you cancel because you're like, I'm just not making the most out of it. But if it was a lower cost gym membership and only all it had was running machines and it was a running club, you'd be like, yeah, I go there to run and that's it. So even if you go once a week, you're getting the value out of it. But if it was running and CrossFit classes and everything else, and you didn't do the CrossFit classes, you might think, well, what am I paying for? I'm not getting the value out of it. So actually over-delivering and giving too much can be confusing and overwhelming. So you want to give away something of value, be it some calls, be it a workshop, perhaps like this. You don't want to give away too much. You want to help people get the first win, the first steps, the first bit of training, but you don't want to overwhelm. If I go into the classroom area and there's just 20 different courses, I just want you to help me with a single problem. You want to be fixing one problem to start with, and then fixing that problem will cause new problems, and then you'll have other problems you can fix, but maybe you do that in another community. You don't have to have a jack of all trades community. Have a community that fixes one problem. If you get them the win on that, they'll trust you for other things, and then they'll want to know, what can we do next? What's the next step? What's the next thing we can do? So you don't want to over-deliver and give away too much. Now, if you have a community or education channel and you would like my help growing your business, then you can book a free strategy call by clicking the link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.